Thanks for tuning in, folks. It's nearing the end of the year, so you know what that means. Some great releases are just around the corner. One release I'm looking forward to is Resident Evil 7. I have had so much fun with the demo that keeps on giving. So much so that I bought most of the games. So, in preparation for RE7, let's start my Resident Evil marathon. For this video, I wanted to take it back though and tell you why I'm excited. I feel that RE7 will fill the void that the cancellation of Silent Hills has left. Now, I know these games are far different than one another, but they felt connected to me in some weird way. With that said, I want to scrutinize both the demos presented and decide which one I think delivers the best experience. I'm always one to say that presentation is key in games, not graphics. This is especially true when it's in the territory of horror games. The environment is essentially the main character. So how do these demos handle their characters? PT's environment is a portion of what we can assume is an abandoned suburban home. The catcher is, you explore what could very well be a never-ending limbo. The backstory goes as this, folks. A father snaps one day and takes it out on his family, shooting his pregnant wife in the stomach and his daughter who was hiding in the bathroom. Exploring this game is such a trip. The imagery is surreal and haunting, the house getting more distorted as you progress through the never-ending hallway. The audio cues are no slouch either. They are made to petrify you, with the cynical radio host spooking you, the ghost that lurks, moaning and laughing at your frustration. This demo is crafted to near perfection. Beginning Hour is a nostalgic callback to the original game. It seems, based on the demo, it has more of a subdued take on its environment, much like the original. Instead of being an awe-inspiring set piece, like some of the newer RE games, like, big bustling cities or dank villages. Beginning Hour opts for an abandoned home trope, almost like a callback to its roots, yet distancing itself from RE Classic, with nary a zombie in sight. You search the nauseating home to figure out how you got in this horrifying home, and to ultimately escape. The house has many locked doors that leaves you questioning what can and can't be opened. Each turn you take, the environment may move to mess with you. This game gives off an environment that is far too aggressive. You may even be petrified to traverse it, which I absolutely love. All this in mind, how well do these games scare the audience? They are horror games after all. Now, fear is a subjective emotion. What scares you may not scare me, or vice versa. Beginning Hour definitely takes some cues from Western horror ideals, yet staying grounded in its Eastern origin. If you play this right after watching The Hills Have Eyes or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you could swear they share the same universe. It doesn't stop just there. They even have the paranormal TV investigator trope. This game adopts more in-your-face creepy vibe than past Resident Evil titles. There are subdued scares, like the ghost popping up for a split second, or the mannequins you looked at a second ago changing positions, or even Zachary Baker popping up out of nowhere only to disappear and pop up at the end when you seemingly escape the house. This game likes to throw many tropes at you, all familiar. So yes, this game is familiar, yet it's such a fun experience that I didn't mind it. And it did get me with some of its scares. PT is ambiguous. The environment progressively changes, and it's shrouded in mystery. And it's also eerily repetitive, what with you walking down the same hall. One that could very well be a purgatory, as well as the fact that the ghost of Lisa is watching you and can strike at any moment. Not to mention that the puzzles involve some critical thinking. A game that doesn't hold your hand. Now that is truly frightening, especially for modern gamers. I would say this game is more creepy than scary, which can be a better thing. If you're consistently creeped out and put on edge, it makes the scares all the more frightening. And believe me, this game is frightening. As I said, these are both games. So how do they feel as games? How do they play? PT was made by Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima wanted his crazy thought process all over this game. He wanted people to come together as a community to solve the puzzles for it. He wanted the game itself to feel like an indie game by an indie studio to cover up his tracks. As such, this game feels pretty alright. It plays like a walking simulator. I think it feels more like an experience than a game though. I felt like I was playing an interactive dream than a game. It was scary, yes, and I did have a lot of fun with it, but nevertheless, it didn't have much game in it. Beginning Hour feels like a traditional horror game. You walk, find an object for progression, then some spooky shit happens. Or you go down a corridor, and activate a trigger, etc., etc. Now, this isn't a bad thing by any means. It depends on how well it's executed. Now, this game is also open-ended. Almost every door can be opened, or at least we can interpret that based on one of the endings. There are also many different triggers you can activate to explore a different portion of the house, and even potentially get a weapon. This demo is awesome. It's exactly how I picture a horror game, but it's not how I picture a Resident Evil game. Long gone are the clunky controls, the unique feel that a Resident Evil game is supposed to give. We'll have to see the end result, if it deserves the Resident Evil title. So take what I said as speculation. So which one do I actually think is a better game? Simple. Resident Evil takes this one. I like PT so much more for the simple fact that it's an experience that will always be held near and dear to my heart, and I felt like it was one of a kind. But Beginning Hour feels like an actual game, and is something I don't mind playing over and over again, since I could have more ways to play it, especially with the changes that are happening based on the updates. I still think you should play both of these. With that, see you next video.